welcome. You ready to dive into the world of prog rock with us?
I am definitely ready.
Yeah, so we're going to unlock this awesome genre, right?
Absolutely.
Using a history of progressive rock
Perfect.
as our guide.
Yeah.
And we've got Apple Music by our side, too.
Excellent.
So we're going to help you find your new favorite artist.
Very cool.
So we're not just talking history here.
No.
This book is like our guide to actually experiencing prog rock.
I love that.
Right.
Yeah.
And it tackles those common misconceptions head on.
It does.
Like the whole endless guitar solos and pretentiousness stereotype.
Yes.
Fully. It reminds us that there's genuine heart and artistry behind this music.
Yeah, and the author, he draws this interesting distinction.
Oh, yeah.
Between blues-based English rock musicians and those with classical backgrounds.
Okay.
He's a bit of a blues enthusiast himself, much like you, based on your playlist.
Interesting.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, so it's like two different streams flowing into this big prog rock river.
Exactly, and it's crucial for understanding how the genre evolved.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
I was also blown away by the book's anecdote about the Yes reunion tour in 1991.
Oh, yeah.
It really paints a picture of what it's like to experience prog rock live.
Definitely the revolving stage, the
Yeah.
mix of classic and contemporary band members.
Wow.
It sounds incredible.
Totally, and it makes you think seeing prog rock live must be something else.
The author's brother compared it to those old Warner Bros. Sampler records.
Oh, yeah?
A little taste of different artists to help you discover new favorites.
I remember those.
Yeah, so this book does something similar for prog rock, especially in today's age of streaming overload.
Yeah, you need to filter a guide.
This book is that guide.
I'm ready to start digging.
Let's go.
Let's talk about some of those early prog rock pioneers.
Right.
The book mentions the Nice Procol Harum and the Moody Blues all making waves around 1967.
That's right.
And what's cool is that it goes deeper than that and highlights what makes him unique.
Yeah.
Like with they blended rock, jazz, and classical music.
Right.
And Keith Emerson's virtuosity on the Hammond organ was something else.
Absolutely. The book highlights their masterpiece, Five Bridges, which really showcases their audacity. And then you have Procol Harum, who brought a sense of elegance and poetry to the genre.
Okay.
Their arrangements were so intricate.
Their song, A Whiter Shade of Pale.
Oh, yeah.
Such an early prog rock anthem.
Definitely. But the book encourages us to go beyond that one hit.
Oh, really?
It points to the album Shine On Brightly.
Cool.
As a must-listen for early prog fans.
Gotcha. And then there's the Moody Blues.
Yes.
Who really pioneered that symphonic rock sound.
That's right. Their use of the mellotron added such a unique dimension to their music.
Yeah, and Days of Future Past from 1967.
Amazing.
That's a landmark album.
A landmark.
I also love how the book points out the depth of their lyrics.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not just about the music with these guys.
Yeah, it's that combination of musical innovation and lyrical depth that really sets these early prog bands apart.
For sure.
And it's just the beginning. We're about to dive into a whole universe of sound.
I am so ready for that.
Me too. It's not a monolithic genre.
Okay.
There are so many different flavors to explore.
So we've got those orchestral elements with the Moody Blues.
Right.
But then you have bands like Soft Machine who are pushing the boundaries in a totally different direction.
Yeah, the book describes them as jazz rock fusion pioneers.
Okay.
Complex time signatures, improvisation, and this willingness to experiment.
They were part of the Canterbury scene, right?
Yes, a really vibrant hub of progressive music.
Canterbury scene. Okay, I'm adding that to my musical vocabulary.
It's a good one.
If someone wanted to get a taste of Soft Machine, where should they start?
The book mentions their album Third from 1970.
Okay.
Over 90 minutes long.
Wow.
It's a bit of a commitment, but it really showcases their unique sound.
That is a deep dive, for sure. And then you have Jeff Beck, who's a guitar legend in his own right.
Right.
Would you consider him full-on prog rock, though?
The book positions him as a crucial influence.
Okay.
Someone who helped pave the way for prog's development.
Gotcha.
He was a true innovator with distortion and feedback.
Cool.
Pushing the guitar to its limits.
I like it.
His album Truth from 1968 is considered a pre-prog gem.
Okay, so even if an artist isn't strictly prog, they might still have those elements that contributed to the genre's evolution.
Exactly. And speaking of evolution, prog rock often reflected the times in which it was created.
Oh, yeah.
The 70s, for example, were a time of huge technological advancements and social change.
Right.
And you can hear that reflected in the music.
That's a cool way to think about it.
The music becomes a sonic time capsule.
I love that.
And then you have bands like Caravan, who brought this blend of complexity and whimsy to prog.
Okay.
They were also part of the Canterbury scene.
Tell me more about them.
Intricate arrangements and playful lyrics.
I like it.
The book specifically mentions In the Land of Grey and Pink from 1971.
In the Land of Grey and Pink. Okay, I'm adding that one.
As a great starting point.
To my ever-growing list.
Yeah.
So we've got Soft Machine, Jeff Beck, and Caravan.
Yes.
All these amazing artists, and we're just scratching the surface.
And this is where the book's Apple Music playlist becomes such a valuable tool.
Okay.
You can listen along as you read, experience the music firsthand.
It's like having a curated soundtrack to the history of prog rock.
Exactly. And as you listen, you can use Apple Music's Related Artists feature to discover even more bands.
Oh, cool. It's like a musical choose-your-own-adventure.
Exactly. Now let's talk about some of the undisputed giants of prog rock.
Okay, hit me with them.
First up, Jethro Tull.
Okay.
Their blend of folk rock and blues,
Yeah.
coupled with Ian Anderson's iconic flute playing,
Oh, yeah.
created a sound that was instantly recognizable.
My dad used to play Jethro Tull.
Awesome.
Aqualung was one of his favorites. But the book urges us to check out Thick as a Brick,
Right.
a single song that takes up an entire album.
That's right.
Wow, that's ambitious.
Prog rock was all about pushing boundaries.
I like it.
And Jethro Tull definitely did that.
Okay, who else belongs on this prog rock Mount Rushmore?
King Crimson,
King Crimson.
the avant-garde architects of prog rock.
I've heard of them, but I'm not too familiar
Okay.
with their music. What would you recommend?
Their debut album, In the Court of the Crimson King, from 1969,
Okay.
is considered essential listening.
All right, I'm adding it to my must list.
It's a masterpiece.
Now get ready for
Yes.
Masters of Symphonic Prog.
Right.
Their music just has this larger-than-life quality to it.
Exactly. And Close to the Edge, their 1972 album, is a perfect example of that.
It transports you to another world?
It's a sonic odyssey.
Wow.
Full of twists and turns.
I like it.
John Anderson's incredible vocals, Steve Howe's intricate guitar work,
Yeah.
and Rick Wakeman's mind-blowing keyboards.
This is going to expand my musical horizons in a big way.
It's just the beginning.
Okay, my brain is officially buzzing with all these amazing prog rock bands.
Yeah, we're not done yet.
Okay, hit me.
Genesis, they had this theatrical side, especially during their early years with Peter Gabriel.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing pictures of him in those costumes. So wild.
Elaborate costumes, conceptual stage shows, a real spectacle.
So they brought a visual element to prog rock as well.
Absolutely, and their music matched that theatricality. The book mentions Selling England by the Pound.
Okay.
And The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway.
Got it.
As essential Genesis listening from that era.
And then there's Vandergraaf Generator.
Yeah, that name.
That name sounds intense.
They were definitely outliers, even within the world of prog rock.
I bet.
They weren't afraid to experiment with dissonance.
Wow.
And create music that was both challenging and rewarding.
Okay.
Their album Pawn Hearts is a classic, especially the colossal track, A Plague of Lighthouse Keepers.
A Plague of Lighthouse Keepers.
A Plague of Lighthouse Keepers. Yeah. Peter Hamill's vocals on that one are something else.
Intense, you say?
You got to hear it to believe it, and then for something completely different.
Okay.
Renaissance.
Renaissance. I feel like I've heard that name.
Yeah, the book describes them as elegance personified.
Elegance, okay.
Imagine lush orchestral arrangements, folk influences.
I like it.
And Annie Haslam's operatic vocals.
Wow, so classical music meets prog rock.
In the most beautiful way, the book recommends Scheherazade and Other Stories.
Scheherazade and Other Stories. Okay, I'm adding it.
That's a great starting point.
To my to-listen list, it's officially overflowing.
It's a good problem to have.
This is exactly what I love about this deep dive. We're opening up this treasure chest of musical discovery.
And that's exactly what this book and its accompanying Apple Music Place Malice are designed to do.
Right.
It's a starting point, an invitation to explore this vast and fascinating genre.
And speaking of exploring, the book also touches on Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Oh, yeah.
They were huge in the 70s, right?
Absolutely masters of symphonic prog.
Yeah, I remember seeing their album covers in my dad's record collection.
Awesome.
That over-the-top theatrical vibe.
Totally. They were famous for their elaborate stage shows. And Keith Emerson was known for playing his Hammond organ while spinning it around.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Musically, they blended classical and jazz elements into their rock sound.
Wow.
The book highlights brain salad surgery.
Brain salad surgery.
As a great example of their virtuosity.
That's a wild album title. And what about Pink Floyd?
Pink Floyd.
I feel like they're kind of in a category of their own.
They definitely have prog elements, but they also transcended genre in a lot of ways.
I could see that.
Their music explored themes of space-time and the human condition, all wrapped up in these incredibly atmospheric soundscapes.
Yeah.
The book talks about The Wall.
The Wall.
As a masterpiece of progressive rock with its powerful message and elaborate stage production.
I remember seeing the movie, the surreal animation.
Yeah, it's a true multimedia experience.
Definitely. And speaking of pushing boundaries, we can't forget about Rush.
Rush, Canadian prog legend.
My brother is a huge Rush fan.
Nice.
They were really popular in the 70s and 80s, right?
They had a string of hit albums, and their music often blended hard rock elements with progressive rock's complexity.
Okay.
The book highlights 212 as a prime example of their early progressive sound.
Okay.
And Moving Pictures as a more mature and refined album.
Moving Pictures.
That reached a wider audience.
I'm sensing a theme here. Prog rock is all about pushing boundaries and exploring new musical territory.
You got it. And the book highlights some other key figures who contributed to that spirit of innovation, like Mike Oldfield, Focus Golden Earring, and of course, Rick Wakeman.
The keyboard wizard.
Yes, who played with, and also had a successful solo career.
It feels like we've only just begun to scratch the surface of prog rock.
That's the beauty of it. This genre is a vast and endlessly fascinating world to explore. And this book, along with its Apple Music playlist, is the perfect guide.
It's like we've been given a key to unlock this amazing musical universe, and now it's up to us to go out there and discover its hidden treasures.
Follow your ears, be open to new sounds, and enjoy the journey.
I'm so excited. Thanks for being such a fantastic guide.
My pleasure now. Go forth and rock on.